Work now? So YouTube is working. Is Instagram working? We're waiting for our guest to reconnect. Sorry for that. We're still experimenting with the technique here. And apparently, although it was telling me that the stream was running everywhere, it was not. So I had to launch a new session of StreamYard. Sorry for the technical blip, and I'm trying to get the rest.
Je suis en direct. Ah bah si, je suis là. Je ne t'entends pas, Romain. C'est, je pense que ton micro est encore coupé. Ah, plus de gel. Ah, c'est moi tout seul. Non. Non. Not gel. No.
Okay, well, this is okay. Sorry for this. Yes, I had to launch a new StreamYard session because it wasn't connecting on Instagram for some reason. So we're waiting for Lorenzo to connect again, and we should be good to go. That's the marvel of multi-streaming. We were good on YouTube, good on Facebook, and nowhere to be seen on Instagram.
I know that very well.
Okay, just trying to just gonna check with Lorenzo, just so we make sure that to make sure that he gets the new link. It's strange because there is no way to check if it works before we go live. So yeah, that's us being still experimenting with this whole.
Oh, I know that very, very, very well. I've seen them all.
Yeah. So Jal used to stream on the Buscop Labo channel for who don't know.
I don't do that this year, this season.
No, too much on your plate.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So just hope we are still waiting for Lorenzo. Just hope he gets the memo. So for the people who are asking themselves, we're doing this on StreamYard, and yes, okay, he's here. Welcome back.
Hello, everybody. I did click on the wrong link. A great start for me.
Yeah, don't worry. We're all forgiven here. So, okay, let's start this. Let's get this conversation going. So, hello, everybody. This is the second Confluence Live Talk we at Hikaya Publishing Organizing in partnership with Les Intergalactiques, who is being represented here by Jal, who will be one of our guests for today. And we are also having Lorenzo Crescentini, from Storie Infinite in Italy. And because the theme today is going to be the organization of sci-fi fantasy festival, so around the literary scene mainly, but of course there are intersections with other kinds of arts and media. And we are going to talk broadly about why we do them, what they are useful to the whole literary scene, the difficulties in organizing them, and anything our guests want to talk about connecting to these subjects. So just to get the presentation going, Jav is working for Les Intergalactiques Festival, among other things. So you are how to describe you organize events basically.
Yes, I organize cultural events in Lyon since 20 years now, and now in the center of them, the Intergalactiques Festival.
Yeah. Okay. You used to organize the zombie walk in Paris.
Yes. In a preparation for this talk, I talk about zombies, and because yes, it was a period very cool, and we were king of the world
back then. And Lorenzo Crescentini. So yeah, you are so from Storie Infinite. Thank you so much for being with us. And again, everybody, none of us is a native English speaker, so we really hope you will forgive the grammar and syntax and vocabulary error we might do. So Lorenzo Crescentini, you are from Storie Infinite. So to present you, Storie Infinite is both at the very beginning an writers agency, and you started to organize your own festival in Forli last year. It was the first edition, and you're going for the second edition this year. Very active. You have a lot of guests. You have also movie projections, a lot of conferences. I won't make the list because there are a lot of things. So a young initiative, but really, really interesting. And we got in contact with you at Hikaya during our search in Italy for contacts. Am I forgetting anything, or is there something else you want to add about your presentation?
No, it was perfect. Thank you for inviting me.
No, it's a
pleasure being here. And everybody, forgive my bad English. I swear I used to speak a good English when I was younger, but now I forgot almost everything.
It's no. It doesn't look like it. So since we are a little playful here in Hikaya, we like to start with one playful question. So this time we choose to ask you, if you guys were an art tool, an artistic tool, which one would you be and why?
So
I start.
Yes,
you can start.
Cool.
Jal, wanna go first? I go first.
I go first. Yes, you go first.
Okay, you go.
No, you.
Okay, I go first. Lorenzo goes first. Well, I think that I don't know if I were an art tool, but I can say that my art tool is the notebook. It's always been. I always have a notebook at hand. I have also in this moment. I love the notebook because you can basically do everything with it, be it artistic or technical, or just drawing to clear your mind. and you don't even have to be good at drawing because no one is gonna check what you're doing. And I'm a writer too. I'm an author, and my first short story collection was first handwritten in a notebook that I then copied on my laptop. So I think, and if you want to be also a bit of metaphorical, we can say that, of course, the blank page represents a world of possibilities and a new beginning. I don't know
Okay.
if my...
It's very good
So
answer.
I pick the notebook as an art tool, if we consider the notebook an art.
It definitely is. Zhao?
Yeah, for me, I think I'd be printed class schedule. I don't know how to pronounce yet. Schedule.
Schedule.
Schedule. So I think I'd be printed class schedule. Tap it to the wall. My role is to make things happen, and that often means organizing everything into neat little boxes. To be honest, I hesitated a bit. I'm not sure if a stapler counts as an art tool, but it could.
So the
Yeah, exactly.
okay, that's original. I did not expect this one. So you're the okay, either the stapler or the Excel sheet tape,
Yeah,
taped at the wall. Okay.
Exactly. That's my work.
Okay, that's so basically two organizers tool, notebook and stapler. Oh, there's coherence here. That's cool. So you both are events, among other things, events organizers. That's this part of your craft we're gonna talk about today. And as Hikaya, we really wanted to have a conference about this during the overall Confluence Live Talk cycle, because as publishers and as translators and as writers, sci-fi conventions, festivals, fantasy conventions and festivals, pretty much everywhere where we are invited and when we go to talk about books and the overall genre of the of fantasy. Did we lose you, Jal? We lost Jal. Okay. This is we are getting technical difficulties here in Lyon, obviously. So yep, we lost you, Jal. So I'll keep going. Anyway, Jal, are you there? We hear you, but we can't.
Okay.
We
are
can't.
Okay. My webcam. Okay. I'm back. Sorry.
Okay, so as I was saying, for us publishers and writers, those are a very important part of our work life. Those are where we meet the readers. Those are where we have new contacts within the industry, and where we get a glimpse of what is trending in the publishing world. It makes us travel. It makes us experience things, and these are most. It's often underestimated. The importance of festivals by people who don't know better are often underestimated. So so first of all, for you two who are events organizers, what is a sci-fi festival for you? First, in your vision, what is the very what do you first think you are organizing when you are organizing a sci-fi festival? Why do you? What is it to you?
Okay.
Even personally.
Go, Charlie, your turn.
Honestly, when I started the festival, I did not have a grand vision in mind at all. I could say I went about it the wrong way. Merde, on dit 2012. 2012, right. My association was organizing a ton of different pop culture events through the year, each focused on whatever I was passionate about at the time. It was be zombies, it could be I see a cool truck in the street. I say, hey, make the truck festival. Well. I love science fiction since I was a teenager. I love science fiction. It's my favorite things in the world. And I create make a science fiction festival. And the festival has grown year by year and has evolved a lot. And I did not have a vision. Just create a festival. Oh, I love science fiction. Create a festival, and this one goes à grossir. Enfin, oui, c'est ce que j'ai dit tout à l'heure. And what is important, it's evolved based on the interest of the team rather than the single overarching plan. At the beginning, the festival, it's a cinema festival and not a literature.
It's a movie festival, not a book fair.
And the time passing, we go in the books. Ça veut rien dire.
English and French. If you have difficulties, go
ouais, en gros, le livre a vraiment pris la part là-dessus. On est vraiment devenu un festival littéraire.
Okay, so at the beginning, it was more of a movie event in collaborations with movie theaters, and
Yes.
as it evolved, the book part really took over
Yes.
the festival, and
Exactly.
it really became a central part of the literary scene, especially in Lyon, but also in wider France.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, Lorenzo.
It's important. We didn't set out to copy other festivals. We wanted to do things our way with our own flavor.
Mm-hmm.
What it become today, it's really the result of all the ideas and creativity that the team has brought over the years. It's a good final for the question.
Indeed, it really is. Everybody who goes to the Intergalactiques has the same feeling about this. So.
Oh, thank you.
Lorenzo, it's your turn.
Okay, so what is a festival for me? This also it's quite a hard question because in this year I had to think a lot how to do this festival, how to improve this festival for the next edition. That I never asked myself what is this festival. So I think that like a first answer that festival to me I think at Storie Infinite Festival as a party, a celebration, the opportunity to do something beautiful because there's always need for beautiful things, and the opportunity to bring people what they don't expect. And if you want to ask insights, if you want to know our festival, how it was born, and the first thing we had to decide, and I think that is the first question everybody has to ask himself when approaching the festival, in my experience at least, if whether you want to do some a niche festival for enthusiasts or a general pop festival for everybody. And we picked the second way. We wanted in the beginning to make a festival that could appeal even for people who don't know or are not very into the more technical aspect of science fiction and fantasy, because in Italy we have several very good science fiction and fantasy festival, like we have Starimondi in Milan. There's a brand new festival in Rome that has been announced like yesterday or today, named Oblivion. There are other festivals, but they are, in my opinion, very niche ones, not because they want to be a niche one. They expect to meet a target, an audience of strong readers, of people who like enthusiasts of the genre. We want to make something that can also attract people who don't know the science fiction festival, or maybe they have they used to be. A lot of people told me when at the festival, I used to read science fiction when I was younger, and I didn't know this magazine was still on. I was a lot of people that maybe have forgotten their passion, and also people that just come for curiosity and find out this world that fantasy and science fiction, in my opinion, for what I can see, that at least here in Italy, are mainly considered something for children. And we want to show that this is not true, that there are science fiction and fantasy are keys for to interpret reality at any age. I don't know if I express myself well.
Yes. Yes. If yes, that's very interesting. Also because Jal comes from the event organizing. An event organizer background, whereas you come from more the publisher and agency and writers side. So you're like coming from opposite directions towards the world of festivals. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you said there are a lot of let's say pop culture festivals in Italy. You have Lucca, Stranimondi in Milano. I just saw there's a new one being organized in Rome about horror, I think, more horror
Oblivion.
fiction. So there's like a growing interest in Italy for sci-fi and fantasy, but there are no big specialized publishers, or to be more precise, and again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the big publishers in Italy don't promote Italian writers. And the publishing houses who do promote Italian writers are growing, but still they are not as big as some can be in France, for example. So I was wondering about the context of that when you choose to organize a festival in Italy. Do you have you have the ambition of maybe showing more Italian version of the genre?
Of course. We are also, we brought at our first edition, that was in 2024 in April, we brought 14, we made 14 presentations, all Italian authors, most of which were not, we had some famous ones, but also a lot of more less known authors, and then we brought them to an audience didn't know them, and we found out the audience were very interested. So people actually are interested in science fiction and fantasy. They just don't find Italian authors in bookstores, and that's why there's this gap, because we in Italy, the reader, tend to think that fantasy and science fiction means American or British authors. We don't have a strong group of. We have, of course, Italian, even famous authors. So you can say that Richard Roisi, we can say Leonardo Patrignani was also a guest of Storie Infinite Festival, whose novels were published in like 40 countries. But they are all sono casi speciali, come dire. Non c'è uno zoccolo duro di autori di fantascienza come c'è invece per il thriller. In Italia abbiamo abbiamo un genere forte che è il thriller, molti autori thriller famosi. Sulla fantascienza e sulle fantasy abbiamo casi isolati che si sono trovati nella loro nicchia di pubblico.
Yeah, so we switch to Italian for a few seconds, so I'll try to. Yeah, they are. You went for a long straight in Italian, so I'm gonna have to ask you.
I'd say that unlike while in Italy we have a strong crime
thriller. You have a good you have a thriller scene. Yes,
we've got several crime authors. Yeah, and therefore the general audience, when you're going to pick up in the bookstore a thriller or crime novel, trusts the Italian authors because we have several famous ones. They are well published, well promoted. When it comes to science fiction and fantasy, they are less trustful. They tend to associate the Italian science fiction author with.
So you mean there's not a huge group of writers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Non c'è, there's not a group because there is a group of writers, but is not promoted the same way that a publisher would promote a crime writer or a historical fiction writer, or even in last years.
Okay.
Romance writers. Now romance is the new trend in Italy.
So that's trying to promote others is realistic. So we were talking about how we could the type of subjects we could go to, and very very quickly we talked about the problems you run into, how you guys how difficult it is to find funds, to find authorizations, to justify the festival projects with the different institutions and administrations, and then when you grow, the kind of pressure you might experiment. Those are a large subject, but I think also important because festivals can really quickly stop to be politically neutrals, and there are pressures about who you invite and etc. So globally, your experience. I wanted to ask about your experience in organizing, in finding partnerships, funds, authorizations. If you experience pressure while looking for this. Is it something you have anecdotes about, or bad experience or good experience about? Già il Lyon, it's a fun city, politically.
That's a trick question for me, but I wrote my answer. That's a great question. To answer, I like to reflect another event we organized, the first French zombie walk back in 2008. It was a fun event where people dress up as zombies and wander world through the city, peaking in popularity around 2013. Back then, I did a lot of interviews, and the question I kept getting asked was, is this event political? And my response was always that we were. I And my response was always like we were too busy organizing it to worry about the analysis. We left that to others. But of course, there's more of it to it. All cultural acts are political in some way, whether we really realize it or not. In in France, cultural associations and those providing humanitarian aid are now taking over roles once filled by public services. So by doing that, by doing what we do, we already making a statement, even if that's not the intention. But looking for another paragraph.
Relax.
Yes, no.
You did your homework very well. Don't worry.
Yeah. I know it will be complicated for me, so I write everything. Each year, we pick a theme and try to explore it in a coherent, meaningful way. But above all, we try to make sure the festival is never disconnected from real-world issues. As an engaged festival, we aim to reflect on the social, economic, and political realities around us and see what science fiction has to say about them. The festival has evolved a lot in terms of programming over the years. Since 2018, we are really focused on the book fair and panel discussions at the heart of the festival. That same year, 2018, we had an all-female panel, first in our genre. And since then, we work hard to ensure gender parity across our book fair and panels.
It's gender parity.
Exactly.
Gender parity.
Sorry.
No problem.
It's something we kept a close eye on the industry. Our roundtable discussion, led by the brilliant Anne Canoville, strike a unique balance between literature, the humanities, and pop culture. That was make our festival so distinctive, somewhere between a literary fair, a geek convention, and an academic conference.
Yeah, they are. Last year and the year before, the cool thing about the different talks and conferences that were organized was that they were both people from they were of course writers and filmmakers and everything, but they were also people from universities. They were sometimes sociologists, economics, and talking about and exchanging with writers, and that's sometimes people who were quite radical. So is it, did you experience sometime problems, I don't know, with the city, with the sponsors, if you have any?
Not really. We are very independent. We don't. We have a lot of. I don't have the vocabulary. Nos ressources propres. Enfin, en gros, le festival que.
You're running on your own,
yes.
your own funds and resources.
C'est 80% de la trésorerie du festival, elle est interne.
So 80% of the money the festival runs on is from intern resources. You are really not dependent on on subsidies or from other institutions.
The other festival in France, I don't know how to say collectivité, ou comment traduire les collectivités territoriales.
Regional institutions or regional public institutions. In France, it's collectivité. But that's the state at a regional level, basically.
Yes, who work to make the festivals, and we are an association. We are independent, and we are almost autosufficient.
Almost self-sufficient.
Yes. Thank you. And so there's no problem for us, but I think we make angry some people.
Yeah, I think on the regional level you might, maybe not on the city level, but
Yeah.
yeah. And Lorenzo, so what is your experience in setting up the Storie Infinite festival for you? Do you have problems finding the funds, finding the partnerships, getting the authorizations? Is it something that is problematic for you, or what is your experience about this?
Okay. Well, first thing, Storie Infinite Festival was 70% financed by municipality. We wrote them our project, and they were enthusiastic of our project, because we have to say that we have one great, like I say, a great un vantaggio, come si dice in inglese, mi viene la parola.
You have an advantage.
Advantage is that Forlì is a city that is now, after being quite, it's growing. It's a growing city that want to make new things, because there are we have great big events in the nearby cities, but Forlì in the last 20 years ha avuto pochi eventi, was not very propositive for events. So now the administration do want to actively promote new activities, new festival. In fact, we got there saying we do want to make this festival, and we do want this to become a regular festival, getting bigger every year. We want it to be the new regional festival of Emilia-Romagna. So we had a great support by the institution. When you say institution, of course, there are also the other side of the medal, the counterpart is that you have a lot of bureaucracy that you wouldn't have as a private. So we got a lot of bureaucratic stuff to check. We had it's been very hard to organize for the first edition, not because somebody didn't want to help us, they were all very helpful, but for like definition, when it comes to something municipal, the trouble begins. So this is I think the first answer to the question. I did not receive, honestly, any pressure. Not for now, because in Storie Infinite Festival is I don't consider it a political festival. We are not political, because we have some, anyway, we had to reject some authors or some books because they did promote things that we don't accept. We had to reject some quite famous but quite infamous author that, okay, a great fantasy author, we're not gonna make names here, but stand very like famous for their homophobic positions, and we said that we, even if we are not a political festival, we don't accept this extremism in our festival. But we did not receive actually pressure to, they were suggested by someone, and we said no thanks, and that was the end of the story. Like about partnership, our main partner in this festival is a cultural association of Forlì called Compagnia Bella. They are a theatrical association, and we got them by chance because we proposed our festival to the municipality. They said for our roots, you need to have a cultural association of a local cultural association as a partner, is the rule, so you can have the founding. So it was quite a chance that we got with them, and a lucky chance, because they were and they are because they still are a partner, absolutely precious for the organization of the festival. We probably 100% wouldn't have made it without them, even for the technical aspects. And let's see. What else can I say about the founding? We received a 70%, and it's told before, from the municipality, 50% in advance, and 20% as a refund. We had to ourselves to put the rest.
Sorry.
And for the first edition, mainly because of Tell me.
No, you're breaking up.
In the first edition, we had to.
Sorry, Lorenzo. I think you were breaking up a little, so we did not get the beginning of the sentence.
Okay, where when I was talking about the partner or the funding?
The last bit, when you were talking about the partner.
Okay. No, I was talking about this association, Associazione Compagnia Bella, that is our partner for this festival. They are a theatrical association. We
got this part. Sorry, we got the globally. This part is good. It was just the end and the beginning of the part with the founders. With the funding, sorry.
I lost the connection. For what concerns the funding, we had the 70% from the municipality. We had to put the other 30% ourselves. And we getting quite dark. I'm going to turn on the light in the balcony. And for the next edition, now that we made this one, we had good numbers. Now we have the interest of all the schools from Forlì and nearby. We're gonna throw in some sponsors that we could not have at the first edition. I'm going to turn on the light.
Okay. That's an interesting. So it's interesting because it's really two. It's really two ways of going that are different, and but globally. Okay. So for now, none of you have really bad experience with pressures and fundraising and etc. Either because the fundraising is going well, or because you're independently funded. And since we already talked about how the authors and books you choose to promote during your festivals are chosen. However, one problem we raised here in Hikaya, but I wanted to submit it to you, was that theoretically what is being said everywhere is that people, and especially young people, are reading less and less books, not novels precisely, but globally, that novel reading is not something that is going more and more popular. So in a world like that, what are the stakes of organizing sci-fi literary festivals? Or do you feel like it's wrong and people are going, that sci-fi literary work is going more popular? Or what do you think of this problem when you organize the festival? Do you take it into account?
For me, I can't speak for Italian book market, but in France, the festivals are playing a more and more important role, in my opinion. Even if fewer people are buying books the way they used to, even like they create events like this create social connection between organizer, attendees, author, and partners. The real question now is about the place of the book industry in all this. For our festival, we work with a bookseller, un libraire, because we believe in sticking to what we we wish to do best. The bookseller sells, the publisher publishes and promotes their authors. That said, I don't blame others for doing things differently. For the first 6 editions of our festival, we did it ourselves. But mixing publishers, self-published authors, and booksellers can dilute the experience, for my opinion. Eventually, of course, I understand why some publishers need to go through this books fair to get noticed, because it's a large and a vast
why some publishers,
yes.
Why some publishers decide to
sorry, j'ai loupé une.
I did not get. There's a word I did not get.
Even of course, I understand why some publishers need to go through these book fairs to get noticed. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So it's like the point is really to bring different actors and the readers together and to create social contact with everyone during festival. Kind of I kind of agree there. It gives, I don't know how it works. In Italy, I think it goes like a little. It's a little the same, because the audience for sci-fi books and fantasy books and connected genre are getting very. They always have, but there's a very social motivation that goes through, with booktubers and booktalkers, book clubs. We see people going in festival in groups, and buying books collectively so that they can share them later. And there's really a connection going. I wonder, Lorenzo, if it is something you have observed in your own edition of the Storie Infinite festival, this social part of the readership.
This one I did not observe, but maybe I will in the next edition. What I can say that you started by asking why to organize festival when people is it a good choice to organize festival when people read less and less, and I say that's one more motivation to do it. If people don't go to the bookseller comes to the people, so we bring them down their feet. And what I experienced at our festival is a lot of unexpected interest from institutions. We did not make agreement with schools there have been no time to do it, but a lot of teachers found out our festival and brought their classes to our presentation, and they were all enthusiastic. So young students really, they actually like all this fantastic world. They just need to know where to find it. I'm quite sure of this because I see a lot of interest from the classes, and I could talk with several teachers, and they said the same. They do want this kind of event, so we're
talking. The connection with schools and teachers, and having also that is something we discussed earlier, but that you were telling me about the importance of getting the students, getting the teachers into the festival for the for many reasons. But it's also true that a good part of a writer's job is actually a school intervention and going in classes and talk about their books and their craft. And that's a good point you're making, that festivals, they're also very often connected to, well, schools or globally other institutions who look after kids. And very often we get classes in festivals going around in mobs asking questions to people. And that's a very a way to actually, as you said, bring the books to their doorsteps, like showing them the pop culture, the beauty of the different genre, and the interconnection between what they might see on TV and the books that exist, the comic books that exist, and how there is no reason, if they don't like the TV part, that they would not like the book part. So um, can tell me if you think I'm wrong, or if you have, or if one of you have anything to say about this. The Intergalactiques is less. Are the Intergalactic also a little oriented towards getting kids and students in schools? It's not, of course, it's a smaller in terms of space. It's a small festival, so you can't really have huge classrooms roaming over. But still, is it something that you are thinking about?
Yes, we try to develop programmation for young adults, kids and young adults, but it's difficult. And one, we are not very good at it. The public is used to be grown up, scholar, university, something like this. So last season, we tried to develop a large young programmation, but it was a bit a fail. I don't see a lot of kids at our festival. So yes, but for me, in my position, it's not my thing. Kids stuff. Not talk to me. I don't have kids. I don't. It's not never be. It has never been. So I don't develop this, and we try, but yes, but
It's not. It's a different craft. It's more
yeah,
specific. Going. Yeah. That's probably, you kind of need to get publishers. Specialized publishers for that, and that's which is a choice to make, I guess.
yes.
So okay.
For what concerns us, we were this was actually for us a surprise. When we organized the first edition, we didn't think at the schools at all. Probably because in like I had the experience in like festival like the therefore mentioned Storie Mondi and so on, that they didn't have any things for students, so I didn't even think about it. And but now I guess it become in the next edition a very core part of our festival, because we had a great response. I was saying before. Just to say, our first edition, it's been a three-day edition. We were asked by the municipality to do a 7 days edition festival for next year, and because the 3 days will be open. The festival will, of course, will be open for everybody, but more realistically, the working days of the week will be more dedicated for schools. So we're planning to have from 4 to 6 classes every day at our presentation, and to make therefore call authors and publisher that are specifically for that range of readers. And I wanted to say something else, but I don't remember. It was still about schools. It will pop to my mind also. I'm sorry for this darkness. It's not this dark in here, but my webcam is quite add this gothic vibe to the presentation. Actually, it's not this dark.
That's a thriller feeling. No, it's not a problem. Don't worry. Okay, that's fun because so school barged in your festival basically.
Didn't understand.
No, yeah, we did just summarizing, but it's fun that you did not. That it's an advantage you had not seen coming, that school teachers would bring their class to your festival. That's a nice event.
And they were all no, and that's more because we were asked since we have Storie Infinite. Our first core. Now we began with festival this year, but our first incarnation. We begin like support for authors. We are book coach. We teach creative writing, and we were asked to go in schools to organize personally and with our collaborators and with professional writers, screenplayers, illustrators to go and organize like lesson screenwriting lessons to go to the school of Forlì and make a little course in the school. Course for creative writing, screenplaying, illustration. We are in the position, of course, to prepare to go and bring professional and famous authors bring to the school. And for a city like Forlì, a small town, small city, 130,000 inhabitants, it's something they could never expect. And of course, if we did the same event in Rome, it will, of course, be different. But I don't want to say that our festival will become a festival for school, because we will keep also the adult part of the festival. In our first edition, we had also 2 pitch moments with publishers. People could go and pitch a story. They would bring a synopsis and maybe one chapter and have a talk, 20 minutes talk with the publisher. We're going to repeat this even next edition. Most of the events, the presentation during the weekend will be adult themed books. We also that's what I wanted to say. No, nothing.
Okay.
No, I was saying it's still in progress. I don't want to say something that maybe won't actually be. So I want. I'll say next year when you are going to invite me again. I bring my own interpreter so I could speak Italian and they will translate in English.
Yeah, we'll get better at this.
I study. I'll try to speak English more than this year.
So what you described something that is like we in France call that speed dating for writers and publishers. We have that in some in the Imaginal Festival, so where publishers and people and writers or potential writers, they meet like for a few minutes and the writers have to pitch their books and everything. That's so events between professionals, and that really actually it worked. I mean, it really brought some people in the industry. It really organized some. It put the publishers out of their pedestal. It put them at people level, and so there were exchanges and everything. We are not yet 1 hour in, but almost. So we are going to. I don't think we have questions from the chat for now. So, among the different questions I had for you, we covered most of the subject one way or another. I did have perhaps some more technical question, but also because we talk a lot about cross media and in pop culture, in literary, and especially in science fiction and fantasy. Um, there are an increased mixing of different medias because universes are getting adapted into TV series and novels and video games from all around the world. It has, of course, always been kind of been the case, but today sci-fi and fantasy have hugely popular universes and IPs. So people, many people have watched Game of Thrones and read Game of Thrones, and many people have watched The Three Body Problem and read The Three Body Problem. So we have a cross media thing going on, and I was wondering, for festivals, because both of you organize festivals that are both for that have an eye on the literary scene, an eye on the movie scene. Eyes, there's an RPG part in Les Intergalactiques with another association from Lyon, which is La Cale. Great people. And so, is this multiplicity of different medias an opportunity for you, or do you feel it's more like parasiting the literary scene? And would you like to be, is it something that is fun to deal with, or or do you feel like it's a problem?
I think it's a good thing. Both on the other side, because we know that Italian we said before that Italian science fiction and fantasy author are not very strong when it comes to publisher and when it comes to spellings. But 5 years ago, they were like no scene. Now the big publisher try sometime to publish some science fiction, some fantasy, and if the term science fiction now return in the bookstore. We can say science fiction. This is a science fiction novel. If you went to read the synopsis of a science fiction novel that came out maybe in 5 years ago, they will never say the term science fiction. It was like a banned word. You could not say that. Now you have instead you have also big publisher that publish space operas, space romance, techno thrillers. And one fun anecdote about it is when big publisher published in Italy Ted Chiang collection, the one where after Arrival was the movie Arrival came out. Personally, I consider Arrival and Interstellar the two movies that brought back in the Italian science fiction in the bookstore because they went popular at the cinema. So people, this science fiction is not so bad after all. And then slowly we got back to the bookstores. But when Ted Chiang's collection, Stories of Your Life, came out in Italy, science fiction was still a banned word. And I remember this funny anecdote. The original collection came out with a blurb. Don't remember who made it. The original one who said, Ted Chiang brings back science in science fiction. Put back science in science fiction. In Italy, that blurb became Ted Chiang doesn't write science fiction. He does literature. This is what the blurb, the same name under it for the translation of that blurb. So I think that for what concerns the author scene, the multimediality is a very good factor. For what concerns the event festival, in my opinion, is also a very very good sector because we Storie Infinite Festival, we prioritize the books. We had a lot of presentation. We then added projection of contemporary movies and of vintage 6 vintage movies like Little Shop of Horrors. I don't remember the English titles. Also, we had a strong RPG section where we had table game and a role play game. We do not have, and we won't have cosplayer because I think that they're going to monopolize the festival, like it happens in Luca Comics, for example. But the fact that you can attract people with other media and then bring them to books too, because it happens, I see that someone maybe came to watch a movie, to play a game, and then came to see a presentation too and bought a book and had a talk with the author. So, in my opinion, it's absolutely positive.
It's a good thing.
Multimediality.
Okay, Jal, you want to comment?
No, I agree with Lorenzo. It's a
good thing.
same. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting point. We're gonna. So there is one. What I wanted to finish our conversation on is on a broader light, and that was some of my last question, but that's actually probably one of the most important one I wanted to ask. So because us at Hikaya Publishing, as you know, we encourage international cooperations.
Right.
That's what we are set up to do. And so we were wondering if there was anything that in a festival could be made to, make the world a more culturally connected place. Inviting foreign writers and, setting up collaborations, setting up things like what we're doing now. Is it something that you are thinking about and having?
Personally, yes, and I have already suggested to our municipality. And again, here, schools might be a great thread of union because when it comes to like a foreign language that may be like you having French guests, for example, that I can say that maybe it won't happen, but that's what I am planning to do for our next edition. I'm planning to have some French guests from French authors and maybe a publisher, who knows. And again, when you talk about this, okay, you can say we're gonna have some guests, French guests. Okay, it's interesting. Then you say to the school, we're gonna have some French guests, and you could bring your students that are studying French to have a talk with a French author. That changed the perspective. The school can be a powerful tool to favorire. How you say in English? To promote the connection. Favorire.
To favor.
To favor the connection. Because like basically the ground talking, having guests, also it's not a cost for a festival, of course. You have to pay for the accommodation, for the travel, a lot of things. If an institution can contribute to this, of course.
Yeah. Jal, is it?
I don't know if it is that what you asked at the point.
For me, I've been involved in a lot of projects aimed at connecting different organizations, and I can tell you it's not easy at all. For me, the problem is we are all busy with our own work, and adding extra layers of collaboration is always tricky. But maybe that's just a reflection of the time we live in. Everything moves so fast, and we don't always have the luxury of slowing down. But I think it's a good idea of author exchange. I love this idea. Yes.
Yeah. So that's also what we're trying to do with Confluence here. Also, why we are forcing this common talks and trying to get in to use like a common languages as good as we can, because we need to us from different countries and backgrounds and languages, we need to talk to each other in the publishing industry. We are especially now with the climate in political climate in France, in Italy, in the whole of Europe. That's part of the, I think, that's part of the answer we can give, that to remind everybody that culture must that art can easily be shared among different cultures. And so, sorry, I'm getting a little poetic here, but that's really what we're trying to do. So, and that's also why we really thank you both for being available tonight for these talks, and supporting us in the initiative. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry for the technical problems we might have. I really thank you for making the effort of speaking English, both of you. That was really cool. Next time we are going to try to make this a yearly thing, and next time we do this, we'll be better organized and perhaps interpret.
You did a wonderful job.
Yes, Romain.
No, it was cool, but it will be even better next time. And so we're gonna end this for today. Our next conference live talk next week will be about Arab science fiction, and we'll have two wonderful writers with us. We'll have Fadi Zarmout and Yasser Abu El Hassab. And that will be Davide hosting the show, obviously, because that's his area of expertise. And so that will be really cool. I hope we'll see you people who have been following us from the beginning. Thank you again. I hope we'll see you next week. And I hope you'll be visiting Les Intergalactiques next year in April again.
Yes.
In April in Lyon. That's
25, 27.
25, 27. Okay. So yes, and the whole of the city will be visiting. So you people have no excuse. And we'll also visit Foley for the festival next year.
We'll wait for you.
The Infinite Festival, and which will be Lawrence. When will
I think that the dates are still to be decided, but probably the last week of April 2025. But
okay.
it's not yet confirmed.
Busy month. Okay,
yes.
That's the convention season anyway. so yeah, thank you again. We'll end this live now. Have a great evening, and have a good week, and see you next time. Bye. Okay, and we're